Hi, welcome back. In this video we are going to create a login page with Metamask. So basically in this project we will have a front end which is connected to the Metamask, and then we have a back end. First the back end will generate a nonce and send it to the front end, and then the Metamask, the user which is going to be signed in, he is going to sign that nonce and send it back to the backend server. The backend server will check the validity of that signed message, and then it will generate a JWT token, JSON web token, and send it back to the user. And next time when the user wants to log in, then he needs to present this JSON token to the web server, the backend server, and the backend server is going to check the validity of that token, and the token will have some expiry time, and we are going to store this token in the local storage of the browser. So whenever a user wants to log in, he doesn't have to create a token all the time when he wants to log in. So we are going to generate a token and assign it to the user. So let's start. So first of all, we are going to create an empty node project, and then we are going to install some packages. Express crypto package, we are going to generate a nonce using crypto package. Ethers, we are going to install path, body parser, because we are going to send and fetch. No, I don't think so, because we are going to use the fetch framework to send and receive the data from and to the backend, and then we are going to install JSON web token. So let's wait for it to be installed, and then we are going to, in the meantime, I'm going to create index.html for our front end and index.js for our back end. So let's start with front end. We are going to create a simple page. Let's create the title as Metamask login, and we are going to put the ether script inside. So I'm just going to go here in my previous GitHub project, and I'm just going to copy and paste it here. And for the styling, I think I'm just going to copy and paste it because I have a text file and I'm not really good with the style. So I'm just going to copy and paste this file in the code. I'm going to copy and paste the style here, and in the body, first of all we are going to create let's say h1, and we can say it's ethers.js sign in using Metamask, and then we can create a button which on click it calls the sign message function. No, it's sign message function, and we can say this button as login using Metamask, and then we can create a simple p with id p1. So, and we are keeping it empty, so we are going to change it where we are going to update this paragraph as maybe invalid token or login successfully, like this. So, and so we have this ready. So let's start code our backend too. So first of all, we are going to write constant express is equals to require express const crypto is equals to require crypto const ethers. We are going to create app which is an express app. Let's define const path is equals to require path. Let's say we say const body parser is equal const body parser is equals to require body parser, and in order to serve the static files we are going to use app.use express dot static, and we are going to put it dir directory name as a current directory, and then we are going to import const JWT is equals to require JSON web token. We are going to generate and verify it using JWT, and then we are going to use app.use express.json because we are going to send and receive the JSON messages in the front end and in the back end, so we are going to use it, and then we are going to use a middleware body parser dot json, and finally we are going to create our first route. It's this, and we are going to say it's request response. We are going to make it an arrow function, and then rest dot send file path dot join directory name plus index.html which we have just created. So, and then we are going to start our server using app.listen 3000 which is the port number, and then we have this arrow function which is going to be writing server started on port 3000, not 30, it's 3000. So now we have our server ready, so we can say node index.js. okay, so our server is ready, so we can try to go on localhost 3000. So this is our very basic front end, and we have this button where we are going to log in using Metamask. So now let's start coding our let's say, okay, so in order to generate a nonce, let's start with the backend where we can define a route app.get. It's a get request because we are generating a nonce and sending it back, so we can say nonce, no, it's slash nonce, and it's same request response, and it's going to be an arrow function. So we can say const nonce is equals to crypto dot, we are going to use this function random bytes, and we are going to generate 32 random bytes, and we are going to convert it to the string of hex strings, and then we are going to response.json, and then we are going to return the nonce. Okay, so now we have written this function. So let's just come here in the front end index.html and let's start writing script. Okay, so this is our the script where we are going to write the JavaScript code. So first of all, we will have async function. Let's say we can call this function as get nonce, and what this function is going to do, it's going to retrieve the data from this nonce request. So const response is equals to we are going to use fetch, await fetch, and what is the name of the root, slash nonce. So it is going to store it in the variable, and let's define another variable const data, and then we are going to send this request to the nonce await response.json. so we are sending the request here, and then we are converting the response into JSON, and here we are returning this as a JSON. So what we are going to do here, we can say return data.nonce. So in this data, this nonce has been stored, so we are using the property data.nonce, and we are going to send it to our main function. So let's try this function first. Not instead of sign message, we are going to see, and we are going to, let's say, console.log if we are getting the nonce. So let's, if we are going to inspect, and in the console you see we have got the 32 byte nonce. So that's okay, like we are moving in the right direction. So let's return, and let's create another function sign message, which is going to get everything together, and we are going to import this nonce in the main function. Async function sign message, and this function is going to let's say we are going to use try and catch. Try and catch. So in the try, let's say what we are going to do, let's say first of all we are going to assign document dot get element by id. This is the simple p1, and now we are just going to use it in the future, so like it doesn't matter. So what we can do here, first of all, let's try to get the nonce here. So we are going to write this function here as const nonce await get nonce. So this is going to store the nonce value in this, and using ethers, first of all we are going to create the environment for the blockchain communication. So we are going to use const provider new ethers dot providers dot web3 provider, and we are going to write window dot ethereum, because this line is going to connect the metamask, and then we are going to define const signer provider dot get signer, and then we are going to create we are going to fetch the address by using await signer dot get address. This signer has a lot of properties, so we are just interested in this address property. So now we have this address property. So now we are going to define our message, which we are going to sign. So let's say the message is this nonce is signed using Metamask, and what we can do here is we can use the nonce. Okay, so now we have defined our message. Now we need to sign our message, so we can say sign message is equals to, we are going to use the sign message property of the signer, and then we are going to pass the message. So this signed message is actually the signed message from that specific signer from the MetaMask to the account we are connected to. So now we have our message, address, and signed message. So what we can do is we can say const, we can create our JSON message and address. So basically why we are doing this, we are going to send this data to the backend, and the backend is going to verify this signed message, and if it is the same address, and then it is going to generate a JWT, a JSON web token, and return it back to the user. So now we have data. Now we can say const, we are going to create a request using fetch, and we are going to define it, let's say fetch, and let's say we define that route login. We are going to define this route in the backend later, and what we can do is we can say method is post, the headers is, that's actually a basic way to send the request to the backend using HTML using the fetch command. So we are going to define our header, and this is the basic way. So maybe you can just copy and paste it, and we can define it as application JSON, and we can set content type as we can just copy and paste it, application JSON. And finally in the body we are going to write JSON dot stringify, and here we can send our data. So now this request is going to this login route, and all this data, this signed message, this message, and this address is going to that route, and this route is actually going to if the address is right and if the signed message is correct, this is going to send us back a JSON web token. So I know I'm going to define the JSON web token. So let's say we can say let token is equals to await response dot JSON, and let's say console dot log, no, let's say element dot inner HTML is equals to token. Let's do this. So now this is all ready. What we are going to do now is we are going to define a route. The route is app.post. This is a post request, so we are going to define login, and what we can do is we can copy the same thing from here, const, and we can assign this as request.body, because if you see here the body has this data and it is in the same order, so we are going to assign these variables as request.body. let's okay. So now we are going to use a property. Let's say our recovered address is we are going to use ethers.utils.verify message. This is a function which is going to take the message and sign message. So this recovered address, this is actually going to recover the address from the signed message. The user has signed it using the private key, so this verify message is going to give us the address, the MetaMask address. So if you go here and if we can so this is the address, we are going to retrieve it. If we are going to sign the message using the private key of this address, then we are going to get the recovered address at this as this. So now this is, that's why we are sending the address here. So in the next line we are going to say if recovered address is not equals to address, the address which we are going to send, we can say return res.status 401, not 301, it's 401 dot json. We can write error invalid signature. So it must recover the same address by which we are signing the message, and if the address matches, then we can define const token is equals to, we can say JWT dot sign. Now we are going to sign some messages. So let's say we are going to sign the address, we are going to sign the secret key, and then we are going to say expires in, let's say we can say 60 seconds, like 1 minute, let's say, or maybe we can like just do it like 1 hour. And now we have this token, we have generated the token, and finally we are going to respond to the front end using this token. Okay, and for the secret key, let's define the secret key here, const, because we need a secret key, and we can say okay, this is my secret key. But when you are writing your code in the production mode, just make sure that you store this key somewhere safe, and because you need this key, you have to need this key in signing the message and in retrieving the message. We have not yet written the function to retrieve, but we are going to write it, and then we are going to see like how things go. So now we have this login and we have this so let's rerun the server and let's try login. So you see this nonce is signed by using MetaMask, and this is the nonce. So let's sign it, and okay, so this is the token, this is the JWT token which has been generated for us. So now what we can do is, so now like the first step has been done where we have signed a message, and let's like forget this, try and forget this catch. Because it's a simple code, it's not going to take much. So we have just this. So now this address, it has signed a message and it has sent it to the backend server, and the backend server has generated a nonce. Okay, so what is the next step now? So now the next step is, let's say we define a route. No, let's say we in the next step we want to verify. Now let's forget about the route now. We want to verify, so we are going to create another route in order to verify. So we can say it as a verify, and okay, so now we have this token. We are going to store this token in uh, the local storage of the browser. So how we can do this? We can say window dot local storage dot set item token and token. So let's do this again. We are going to see if it has been stored. Let's log in using MetaMask again. Let's sign. Let's go to inspect. Let's go to application. No, let's go to storage, the local storage. So if you see in the local storage, we have this token stored, right? So this is the token, and okay, so what we want to do now, we want to do is, now we have this token, so it's stored in our local storage, and we have generated it for like 1 hour. So since this has been like stored in our local storage, we don't need to sign the message again and again. We can just send this token to the backend server in the authorization header, and this verify route is going to take that authorization header and check if the token is valid. If the token is valid, it is going to route the user to the correct route, or to the protected route. So let's start writing this. First of all, we are going to write verify. Okay, in order to write verify, first of all, we are going to define auth header, authentication header is equals to request dot headers dot authorization, and we are going to define if not equals to auth header, no, not equals, if not auth header or auth header dot starts with bearer. Okay, I think we are making some mistake here. I don't know what. Start with bearer, it should be like this. Okay, so this is this is, no, it's this. Oh, okay, so I made some typo here, and if it's not starting with bearer, then we are going to return res dot status 401 dot json, where we are going to write error invalid token. Okay, so we have defined this, and let's say if our sorry for my mobile, if our token is already there in the request, we can say auth header dot, we are going to split it with a space, and we are going to take the first element of the array, and what we can do is we can say we first need to decode it, so we can say const decoded JWT dot verify. We are going to put the token and the secret key, and let's say just console.log decoded. Let's first see how it looks, and let's say in the front end we can do something like this. Yeah, in the front end. Okay, so in the last line I wrote window.localStorage.setItem token. So now we can like create an if condition here. Instead of like generating this nonce and signing the message all the time, what we can do is we can say if no, first of all we are going to say let's const stored is equals to dot get item. Okay, so if we can say stored is not equals to null, no sorry, is not equals to null, what we can do is we are going to send this token directly to the verify. We don't need to like create a message and sign it using Metamask. So what we can do here is we can say let token is equals to, we can simply just take it, or we can just like use stored, but I prefer this, like we get this token again. We can say const, now we are going to send the post request again, await fetch / verify, and like we are going to put method post and authorization, okay, headers, content type and authorization. Okay, so we are just going to copy and paste it first here, and what we can do is we can just remove it, and what we can do is we can just add authorization, we can say bearer, and who is the bearer of what is the token. Okay, so we have just assigned the token value here, and in the body like we are not going to send anything here. So if you just see this verify, we are just getting the authentication header request dot header dot authorization, so we are going to use this authorization, and and we are going to see if it's not starting with bearer, or if there is no authentication header, then we are going to say it's invalid token. And if we have something, so we are going to split it, and we are going to take the first value. So this bearer is the 0 and token is the 1, so we are going to take token, then we are going to decode it, and we are going to say console.log decoded. So okay, and it's console.log decoded. So let's like try if it works. Okay, so if it's this, and have we properly closed the fetch? Yeah, okay, so we don't have any error right now. So let's start. So I have clicked, let's say, yeah. So here in the server, actually we said console.log decoded. So in the server, you see we send the token here, and in the secret key we got this address back, and this is the expiration time. We are going to use it like later in this video, but if you see this address, it's the same address. You see 2BB and it ends with F72D. So 2BB and it ends with F72D. So what we have done so far is we have sent a request to login. The login has generated a JWT token signed with this secret key, and then we have created a verify function which has verified that the token is right. And so till this point we have created a token and we have verified the token. So what we are going to do now, there is one more thing in this function. We are going to see the expiration time. So because after 1 hour the code is going to be expired, no, not code, the token is going to be expired, so we need to generate a new token. So what we can do is const current time is equals to map.floor, we can say date.now divided by 1000, and we can say if decoded.exp, if you see here it's decoded.exp is less than current time, we can say res.json token expired, else res.json. okay, so what we have done here is we have just said that okay, if the token is not expired we are good to go, but if the token is expired, like there is some problem, and okay, so let's define another route here. This, let's define success. Let's say this is a protected route, and this success.html, and let's say we are going to create success.html, and just remove everything, and we are just going to create a simple h1 here. h1 you are now logged in. So let's say this is success. So now what we are going to do, if the user is logged in, then we are going to serve the file. If the user is not logged in, we are it's not going to serve the file. So if we come to index.html again in the so what we can do is now we are going to send the response.json here. So what we can do is we can store this response here. Okay, if stored is not null, so it's going to be in here. Yeah, so we can say let new response is equals to await response, because this is the response. This is going to get us something, response dot, we are going to convert it to JSON, and we can say console.log new response, and then we can say if new response is equals to okay, then we are going to redirect the user to the success route, else we can say window.local storage dot remove. I'm going to explain what is happening here, what I'm writing. And element dot inner HTML is equals to token has been expired, please log in again using Metamask. Okay, so if you see here, we are going to see the current the time, expiration time, and we are comparing it with the current time. If the token is expired, we are going to send token expired, and if the token is not expired, we are going to send the response.json okay. So what we are going to do here, if response is okay, we are going to redirect the user to the success path, and if otherwise, like if the response is not okay, then we are going to remove the token, the old token, from the local storage, and we are going to write the inner HTML as the token has been expired. So okay, so this is the first if condition, like if the token has been stored. So now we are going to we can say else. Why we are going to say it else? Because if the stored token is not null, then it is going to send the token to the backend, right? But if there is no token in the local storage, then we are going to get the nonce, we are going to sign it, and then we are going to send the message. So now we have the response here. So let's say now we got the JSON token. So what we are going to do, we are going to send this after, no, let's just forget it. We are going to set this token in the local storage, and after that we are going to create, let's say, new response is equals to, we are going to send the same thing here, because till here we are getting the token, but we are not yet recognized by the server that we are the authentic user which is going to go to this success path. So this verify, we are going to call it again from this too. So verify application and bearer dot token, and let's say let answer is equals to await new response dot JSON, and then we can simply console.log, we can say what is the answer, and the verify, it's either going to send us okay or token expired. So let's say if answer is equals to okay, window dot location dot href, it's actually the same thing which we have done above. So else what we can say is we have this element here, element dot inner HTML is equals to we can say invalid token, because the token is invalid and we cannot sign it. So what we can do now, let's try. And okay, so in order to check it, instead of 1 hour we can say it as 10 seconds. So let's see like what happens. So okay, before doing anything, let's go to local storage, and let's delete this token, like, because we don't want it, right? So let's start the server, let's log in using Metamask. Okay, so see, we have logged in and we are redirected to success page, and if we go here we have this token. So let's go back. So now login again. What's the problem? Uncaught. Uncaught in promise syntax json.parse at 13 and 113 and 21. So let's element.inner html invalid token. So what is okay? So we got this as JWT expired. So okay, let's do this again. I think we have to do it earlier or sooner. So let's delete this token. Let's login using MetaMask, sign in, okay. And if we go, instead of signing the message again, it's again success, and the expiration time is 10 seconds. So again, now it doesn't work because the token has been expired. You see, JWT expired. I think we can, if the token is expired, we can like set this element dot inner html as the token has been expired. Let's try. We are going to delete this token. Okay, it's actually a repetitive task. So let's login using MetaMask, sign, and we are now moved to the success page. And if we do this again, I hope we okay. So this doesn't work right now. So if you go to console, you can see, okay, so we just kept this JSON token expiration time as 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, what we want to do is we have to actually log in again. So what we can do is we can first okay, so when the token is expired, we need to delete this, right? So what we can do here is we can use the remove command, like token local storage dot remove, and I think we can put it here. I think we have put it here, window dot local storage dot remove item and its token. Okay, if the response is okay, right, if the stored is not null, I think we have to put it somewhere else too. Window dot local storage dot get item dot remove. So basically what we are doing here is we are sending it, and if the response is okay, we are going to send it, else window dot local storage dot remove item token. I think it should do this. Else if it's not null, so what is happening here? Rest token expired, else rest dot json token. So let's copy and paste it here too. Let's do this again. Let's go to local storage, delete it, login using MetaMask, sign in, I think after 10 seconds. Okay, Yeah, so it is like giving error. um let's try again. 114 and 21. Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, that's how you are going to we are running into error. So I will try to fix the error. But yeah, the thing is, you are going to create um, a login post request which is going to generate the token, the verify post request which is going to see if the token is expired or if the token is valid, and then it is going to send this response to the front end. And once um, this is done and we have this token, I think then we can easily go to this success page. And if the token is expired and if the response is not right, then what we can do is we can say that remove the token from the local storage and redirect it again to this to get the nonce again, and to send the request again. So that's how it works. So new response console.log, let answer is equals to, yeah, we are getting some errors, but that's how you are going to create a sign in using MetaMask. So I will try to fix the error, and I will try to upload the correct code. So yeah, thank you very much for watching till now. Okay, yeah, so welcome back again. Actually, I tried to figure out the error, and I got to know that it was a problem. It was a problem with the web browser, so I changed it to Chrome. And let's say we have this token here, application. Let's say we have this token here. We are going to let's say keep it. It's going to delete it again. If you go to the code here, index.html, it is going to delete it using local storage dot remove item. So let's see, the token has been deleted, the token expired, login again to get a new token. So if we sign the message again, we are going to log in again. And now if we just go, we don't need to sign the message. Let's see again. Okay, so again the token was expired, and then we are going to sign the message again, and it is going to send the signature request. So now we are logged in again. So yeah, that was it. We have written the code. It was a problem with the browser, I don't know why, but that's how you are going to create a login page using MetaMask with a backend and a front end. So thank you very much for watching.